Row, day 3 of our coverage from Super Bowl 56, and I'm excited to be here today because, well, one, I made it here today after our game last night, and two, the man sitting next to me, again, it looks like he's in a different room, but my old buddy Kyle Turley is joining us for a little bit. Kyle, of course, is a legendary offensive lineman and played a lot of years for the Saints and other teams, All-Pro. But it's what he's doing after the game that is really changing lives of his comrades from the NFL, and we're going to talk a lot about that. This is not going to be a lot of football talk, so if you don't want to hear stuff that is really could change your life, go tune on to somebody else. But if you want to hear stuff about brains, life, CTE, cannabis, stick around here for 10 minutes. So, Kyle, thanks for joining us, my friend.
Great to be with you always, brother. Thank you for having me.
Now, how are you feeling after last night's game, after we shellacked you 14-7?
I don't know, man. We stood around for a while. These old legs don't do so good standing. I'd rather be moving. I got in there for a few plays, but, those veterans, man, and you guys just you're too hard. Yeah.
Well, my legs don't feel so good today either.
I saw some decleaters out there. You guys are blocking the hell out of guys.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, we talked about your football career, and obviously, being an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, every single play, just like when I played, your head is hit, you're getting smashed. And then we talk about what happens after the game. You don't have the contracts, you don't have the support from the league, and suddenly things happen to your body that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, well, that's the cost of the game. At the end of the day, there's a price to pay for any, pursuit like that. Go try to accomplish a dream of playing football, being in the special forces or anything like that, where you're a boxer or a professional MMA fighter. Any of these contact sports is, things that just take an intense amount of commitment and drive that you got to dig deep, all the entire time. If you want to keep moving up that ladder, you're going to hit a wall multiple times, and you better start digging.
And you know about that wall because you've helped establish something for the players, and it's blazing a trail literally by the use of cannabis and the advocacy of the use of that. And, the world out there isn't ready that this is a drug that isn't really a drug. It's a natural thing that grows, and you can make it better and enhance it for all of our needs and things like that. I know you use it. I use it. Yes, audience, I use medical marijuana. I don't take opiates. I don't do anything. I've got a torn rotator. You have no idea how much pain I'm in right now. You got to get through life. The alternative is, what our veterans and people are committing suicide, CTE, all these problems. So what you guys have started with this athlete activist founded Remnant is a pretty amazing, and I hope society's ready for it.
Well, yeah, I got together with Jim McMahon, Eben Britton. We've all had this unique experience collectively that, we've been able to get off all these opiates just using cannabis and other natural ways of healing. And it's important that people understand those opportunities. These opiates are continuing to decimate our communities, from athletics to the general public. When they just hand those things out, there's death attached to them, unfortunately. And that's just infected our communities too much. Cannabis is one of those that's pulling people back. It's getting people out of, the house. It's getting people back from the grave almost. And in my situation, that's the truth. Truly saved my life. It gave me an opportunity to get this life back that, I built so much and put so much time into, to be here and be a professional football player and all these things and great accomplishments that, you want to have after, the career's over and feel good about, and it's unfortunate that cost of the game, affects this brain especially, but the pain and all the other things that I've experienced and how this addresses that versus any opiate, but most importantly the cognitive issues. And there's not one synthetic medication that I was ever prescribed that I can't replace and didn't replace with cannabis now for over 8 years.
And you've had those lows, and I know you talk about it when you realized things aren't going right and you had to make a change. Was there an epiphany? Was there that low point where Kyle Turley had to change life for his family, the people you love who saw you just turning, they didn't want to lose you like we've seen so many of your NFL brothers?
Yeah, 100%. Being in that situation where you come to that end where you got to find something else. You get down on your knees and you pray to God, man. That's what you do, and you ask for an answer. And that answer for me and all the rest of the guys in cannabis has been real and true, something that has been proven. And we're just hoping people listen out here. this is something that was placed here for us. Ironically, speaks directly to what we have inside of us, called the endogenous cannabinoid system, which is the number one regulatory system in the human body that the medical community doesn't want you to know about. Unfortunate.
It's kind of like that. The car companies don't want electric cars out there. So how are you educating players?
They don't want you to know that every engine's been able to run on water since they created them.
So how do you educate the players so it's not a dirty word and we have to, smoke behind places and stuff like that, or, take edibles, take other, it's not just a joint and all these other things. There's medicines that you can take, creams you can take, utilize the CBD and the cannabis. So how do you educate, the ignorant people out there?
Just continue to be that example. At the end of the day, they have a stigma. They want to pin it on, you sitting on the couch and just eating potato chips all day. That this is not the case. When you see, go YouTube Jim McMahon's Hall of Fame acceptance speech at BYU, and you'll see what cannabis has done for that guy, being able to take off his sunglasses and be in those lights and be so articulate and present versus the 85 Bears community that he says he keeps going back to. And it's just a damn shame. And all these pills they continue to shove in these guys' mouths are just getting worse. And it's not helping our community. When we showcase what it is that this has done for us, that's the biggest impact. People are going to talk. Everybody's going to say what they want to say. And at the end of the day, we're still here and they're still dealing with all these issues while we're talking and continuing to showcase on all our social media sites and everything else this wonderful life that exists out here for people to live, and be able to be a participant.
And it's changed my life. And that CTE is always creeping in the back of your mind, all those kind of things. So what's it going to take for the NFL? The NBA is a little bit there, but what's it going to take the NFL when we realize this drug is the best recovery drug for an athlete? And you guys put your lives on the line in those trenches every week. The recovery is horrible. You've got to have practices. You have a Thursday game or a Saturday game. It shrinks all that kind of stuff up. So, what can we do to get the NFL to jump on board so they could use it as a treatment?
Well, I've offered study after study every year since I've had this experience. They've now finally, I guess, given $1 million or $500,000. It's split between two companies, and they're going to run some study with some rugby teams down in San Diego or something like that. They had me come speak to them at the top of the Marriott Hotel in Marina del Rey in Los Angeles, California. A full PowerPoint presentation that I gave to the entire medical board of the NFL, consisting of the head of neurology for the United States military, the head of emergency medicine for the United States military, oversaw all Iraq, Afghanistan wars. I've spoken at Harvard twice on this. I've done all these different things. I've offered the NFL the opportunity to do a study in training camp and expose the things that I know how to address illness and injury, especially cognitively, orthopedically, that would change the game. Okay, period. All right. These guys don't have to suffer through all these things, inflammatory issues, not a problem. Okay. We can fix all these issues cognitively, orthopedically, sleep wise, the recovery, the aspect of this, and a question of whether this is a performance enhancing drug. We'll have to have that conversation because of what you'll see. But it ultimately comes down to what this plant is doing inside of you, and that the science of it should be speaking for this, not Kyle Turley that threw the football helmet in New Orleans in a crazy game, right? This should be the science of the endogenous cannabinoid system that operates everything in your body, okay? And if I can figure it out by going to these little hole-in-the-wall joints that these cities want to keep putting in the bad parts of town, if I can do that, and Jim McMahon can do that, and Evan Britton can do that, and Ricky Williams can do that, and all these guys we can go down the list that are doing this. You would think that the NFL would allow us that opportunity, but we'll see. They're going to use some vape pens that are probably some just random distillate, and we'll see what happens. There's going to be good experience by bad experience by some, because this is all about what is inside of you and how this speaks to you, and it needs to be open and needs to be free, just like America's supposed to be, right?
Now, could you bypass Roger Goodell and get to an owner's meeting? Because if I'm an owner, if I'm a business person that owns a company and I've got these $1 million athletes, if I want to keep them around and have them give their best performance, a guy like Jerry Jones, you would think would be hip and go, okay, let's bring this in. I want my guys out there playing every day. I want them to recover. I want to keep them for 4 or 5 extra years in uniform, so I don't have to get free agents and sign and go through shitty years and draft and all that kind of stuff.
You would think. Again, they've invited me to speak to them. I have done so. They know about this. They told me directly to my face, Kyle, we appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. They tried to make it unbelievably difficult for the submissions that were given to go and even be a part of this conference that they don't want you to know about that happened. Okay, I've been a part of this. I've told these people. They don't return my calls. They don't return my emails anymore. I was in direct connection and contact with the chief medical officer of the NFL, Dr. Alan Sills, who's the head of neurology at Vanderbilt University. He lives down the street from my damn house in Tennessee. He will not return calls anymore. He will not let me come see him at his office. Won't talk to me at all. Jeff Pash is ignoring me. Goodell is ignoring me. They're too busy, I guess, with Jay-Z and all these things they want to keep doing out here. And we're just trying to live, okay? We're just trying to live. We're trying to live. We're trying to help our communities have longer careers, help NFL teams win championships, and enjoy this life that we're living, right? Okay, we don't have to be in this misery. We don't have to commit to all these stupid little clubs that these people want to be in. Just give us this plant. Let us expose our talents fully and quit trying to kill us with these opiates. That's all we ask.
Yeah, we're not living in the dark ages anymore. If we can find something that works, we should be able to come together as a society. So we brought everybody down a little bit. So, let's just update. How's the band doing? What's going on with that? Has COVID set you guys, or does that give you more creativity to work on your music?
Yeah, I had to, get my health back in order through cannabis. I played shows back in California, going through that process. Different couple bands, music's a pursuit I've been at for a long time. It's one of those things, I guess you got to put 10,000 hours in unless you got a Taylor Swift daddy that's going to buy all your records, put you on tour with George Strait. I don't know. I've gone the hard way. They wanted me to write all their songs or sing all their songs. They didn't want me to write my own music, So
you started your own production company,
did everything on my own. We're still going. We're playing the Gridiron Greats party tomorrow night at the Omni Hotel down here in Los Angeles. Hopefully there'll be some good footage of that, and it'll get out there on the interweb, and we'll keep going, man. I'm hoping to get some good tours this year coming out as these bands are starting to open up and come back after this ridiculous COVID nonsense.
Well, now that we've made everybody mad associated with this podcast, are you the bad boy of the NFL? Do you feel like, they're all against you and you kind of getting blackballed because you had a great career on the field? Everyone, just said great things about you. And now suddenly it's like you're this dealer or distributor or something. And it's like, they're not listening to your words.
Yeah, they're listening. It goes in one ear and out the other, unfortunately. No, they're listening. Things are changing. As they told me, it's going to take time, Kyle. It's going to take time. I don't understand that. Doesn't make sense. Okay. Didn't take time for me to, commit San Diego State, be switched to offensive line position, and in 3 years be the 7th pick in the first round of the NFL draft. Okay. And then go on to an all-pro career, be nominated to all these teams that you don't see me on anymore. Yeah. And nobody talks about it. And they're giving out 6-year Hall of Fame inductions now. And I'm nowhere in the conversation. Okay. It's all good. That is more respect than you could possibly know, because everybody that knows the position I played and knows who I am knows that to be the fact.
Well, let's create the Hemp Hall of Fame and we can get you in there for what you're doing. Yeah. I know you got to go. You're wearing the hat. Get a prediction.
Rams,
or is
baby.
that the hat, right?
Hey, Rams. I'm Rams World Order fraternity member here, SoCal chapter, and from St. Louis to LA, man. I'm Rams diehard. Blue and gold, man. It was unfortunate my career ended shortly. A lot of factors there, but state of Missouri there. I was hoping for the old Governor's Cup Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the Rams. I've been awesome, but here we are, man. The Rams hometown. My mom grew up Orange County. Merlin Olsen used to come over to the house apparently, and all these things that my whole family's all Mormons in the church thing. To everybody else, to Hunter, shout out to Hunter out there, man. All these great players that ended up in Hollywood because of the Rams being here. It was an awesome experience being a Rams fan and playing for the Rams and that organization's. It was pretty special, man. I had a great time in New Orleans, but playing for the Rams was a pretty special experience as well.
Well, Kyle, thanks. It's always great. I'm going to reach over here.
He's
special
right
effects right there. So joining me, where can people get more information? following you and getting more information about cannabis and rewiring the brain. Jim McMahon is a huge success story. So where can they do?
Yeah, RevenantMJ.com. We're going to be building a Revenant House 2023. We're opening up Recovery Center. We're going to get everybody's life back through cannabis and all these other things, psilocybins, everything that grows from the ground God put here on this earth. Read that book. The herbs of the earth are for the benefit of man. We appreciate y'all so much for all the support. Go to RevenantMJ.com. Follow us on social media, RevenantMJ. Take a listen. If you don't, you need something else, man. Listen to what we're talking about. Appreciate you.
Go have fun. Go change your world. It's always great to see you, my friend.
All right, go
God
Rams.
bless you. All right. That's Kyle Turley taking a little time to talk serious. We need a little more seriousness sometimes about what the world really needs to change for the better. Stay with us. We got some big guys coming up. Lee Steinberg is going to join me, my buddy, coming up at 12:45. So you are watching Dave Stevens live from Radio Row. And don't forget to thank our sponsors, Pro Stance, because, these things I've showed you guys before. They're amazing tools for baseball to teach these young kids to do the proper techniques for baseball. And for more information, you can go to prostance.net. We've got the indoor things. We've got the outdoor things. And again, these things, they're amazing. And if I've been able to watch people with special needs play baseball, step into this and hit the ball, imagine what it could do for your son or daughter out there playing baseball. So again, thank you to our sponsors, Pro Stance. They're right here on this channel with us all week. So am I. I'm Dave Stevens from Radio Row. Stay tuned. Thank you guys, everybody. Ability Media, Q30, the Disability Channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. We're not changing the world. We're just giving a little different voice to those out there. So we'll see you guys later today. Thank you, and have a